Welcome to the Caddo Convos, the podcast that explores the vibrant community of businesses thriving in Caddo Office Reimagined. We're here to shine a light on the incredible entrepreneurs and professionals who make the most of our private offices, co-working spaces, and day office rentals in the Dallas-Fort Worth suburbs. Join us as we share their stories, celebrate their successes, and dive into the benefits of working in a space that's close to home but offers so much more than working from home. Let's get started with today's conversation. Joining me on the show today is my dear friend, Tim Slaughter, the founder and CEO of Caddo Office Reimagined. Tim, thanks for joining me in the studio today.
Thanks, buddy.
It's our second show together in the past year or so it's great to see you. And Caddo Office Reimagined, I know your mantra is work near but not at home, right? Which I'm a big fan of because I'm near home but not at home. And you serve all types of businesses with 9 locations. Talk to me high level about that.
Yeah, so you hit the nail on the head of what we're trying to do. We're really trying to replace your home office. Not because your home office isn't comfortable or you can't appoint it well, but what we find is a lot of people have trouble with privacy within their home office, so there's distractions there that are in the home. A lot of people have trouble with professionalism or perceived professionalism. So if you have a website or a Google business profile and your address is a home address in a neighborhood, it doesn't add to your credibility. And so we know that for sure. And then finally, there's a community aspect where, it's good to work around other people. We are social creatures, and so we provide opportunities for connection. We provide meeting space so you can meet with other people. But the community aspect is really important, especially for our customer base, who tends to be small business owners. And small business owners, we face a lot of challenges. There's a lot of headwinds. There's a lot of things that we have to wear all the hats. Yep. And so if we can be around other small business owners kind of going through a lot of the similar things, even though they're not in the same industry, we can learn a lot from each other and really encourage each other, which is super important when you're on your entrepreneurial journey because you got ups and downs.
Sure. And if you look on the map, and I encourage everybody to go to the website, Caddo Office Reimagined, because they have 9 locations. So, Tim, you have 9 locations now, all over the DFW Metroplex. There's one near you, and there's one more coming.
That's right.
And so tell me where it is, and we'll do a deeper dive there, and why you chose this location.
Yes. So this is our second location within Frisco, and it has been incubating for quite a long time. The city of Frisco is not easy to develop in, despite all the development that's going on. It is they're very particular, which is great because once you're there, you're there. But it took us almost 2.5 years just to get kind of the basic site level drainage worked out with several different owners, and it was a little complicated, but we found a great location tucked into a neighborhood which is perfect without any other office space or commercial around. That is kind of the epitome of a location that we're looking for in the future, is something where, there's not just a WeWork at Legacy West, like there is like 2 or 3 of those there. We want to be unique and convenient to the people that we're serving in that neighborhood. And so this Westridge location, looking around, it was kind of right in the middle of 4 other Caddos that were very successful that stay fully leased. And we're like, boy, that's a spot that makes a lot of sense for us to plant another one and to have a second one in Frisco, but it's also on the border of McKinney, and it's very close to the southern edge of Prosper.
Right.
And so, in fact, there's a Prosper High School, Rock Hill High School, is just up quite from us. And so, anyway, it's it takes everything we've learned about site selection over these past 9 locations, and it was sort of the best of everything that we've seen work in other situations.
Yes. So. And I'm a North McKinney resident in the Stonebridge Ranch area. For people like me who are in that area, Southern Prosper, it's accessible off of 380. So if you're coming in 380 North, 75 down from, say, Melissa or Anna, anywhere you're doing business in those areas, that location is pretty great because you can do business with people in Prosper, North Frisco, any part of McKinney. And of course, if you live near there, your office will be right there.
Yeah.
For me, I believe it's 0.6 miles, something like that,
Yeah.
from my home residence.
Yeah.
Of course, we have the studio here at the Maple Shade location, which again is accessible right from the George Bush and the Dallas North Tollway for our Dallas customers, and people who want to have an office here. So let's talk about the amenities
Yep.
and pricing, and let's walk through what it's like
Yeah.
for future residents.
Yeah. So really, we have two basic membership models, and one is a social membership, or what some would call like a co-working membership. That gives you access to all the common areas at all 10 locations 24/7.
Great.
Gives you 8 hours of conference room time per month, which is very handy. That's $299 per month, and with the founder special, it'll actually be $239 a month for the first 20 social members. So that's
Wow.
a
Hop
that's
on that fast.
that is a really we never offer a deal that rich for that long. So the founder special, and the reason we do these really great founder specials for the first kind of quarter of the building, and is really just the building doesn't feel as good when you first open and there's no one in it, right? We're social creatures. So
Absolutely.
when someone walks in and we tour them and they're like, well, no one else is here, we're like, well, we just opened 2 days ago. Give us a minute. But it just doesn't feel good. So we really want to give a good deal to sort of attract people. Feel like they're taking a risk when they're the early adopters, right? And so for those first 40 members for the office suites, we give them that 20% off. The next 40 we give 10% off. So it's kind of a stair step as we lease up. But so we have the social membership, which is kind of the co-working, and then we have the office membership, and that's a private office, either for one person up to a 6 or 7 person team. But the majority of our offices are around 120 to 130 square feet, which fits one person very comfortably. Fits 2 if you need 2 spouses to work together, or someone and an assistant. So that's kind of our bread and butter product. The pricing ranges at Westridge is going to range from $599 to $2,449, and the $2,449 is a 5-person office, so that's very affordable per head, and it's a corner. So there's different things we look at pricing, but if you take that founder special into account, the range of prices is $479 to $1,959. So the founder special is really, really nice. And then kind of your standard 115 to 120 square foot exterior office with a view, and natural light is going to be $899 a month, but with that founder special is $719 a month. So that's kind of where the pricing fits for most people, and a lot of people find that to be affordable. The great thing about Caddo is we don't, and this kind of gets into another question, but I guess we can segue into it, but we don't ask for a long-term commitment.
Yeah. It's very fair. It's so walk me through what made you choose that level of commitment.
Well, 60 days, the only reason we ask for 60 days, it just gives us an opportunity to know that vacancy is coming, so we can do something about it. So we can, adjust the dials on our marketing spend or something like that. But we don't ask for a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year commitment at all. And the reason for that is small businesses, especially who we serve, just their revenue and their work can be really bumpy and lumpy at times. And so when things are really busy, you might need to hire 3 people yesterday. When things aren't so busy, you might need to downsize 3 people, or not use your contractors, or however that works. But we understand that. And so we wanted to build the business model around that small business owner to provide that maximum flexibility. So if you're growing, it's great because you can just kind of, for each person you add, you can add an office or a team room for a group of people. Or if things aren't going as well, you can sort of right size your spend on your real estate on the fly as you go, which is really important. But we've seen our friends and neighbors. I'm sure you've had people who will sign up for like a 5-year lease, and come year 2 or 3, business is totally different, either bigger or smaller,
right?
And it's just not the right space. And guess what? The landlord is not too keen. A traditional office lease, they don't want to just bust through that wall and add on 2 offices,
right?
Unless you want to extend your lease another 5 years, because they're going to have to make an investment to do that. And so really like this model for the flexibility, and that's important. The other important thing that people need to know is it's kind of our customer service guarantee, because if you're one of our members and you can leave in 60 days, if there's something making you unhappy about being in our space or the way that we are treating you, or well, whatever. I mean, it's just it keeps us honest, because
Yeah.
it's like we're not
We got to
we don't
earn
have
your business
we don't
every
have
60
you
days.
yeah, we don't have anything locked in. So yeah, we've got to re-earn that business, and so we take feedback from our members very seriously. And then when we're going to hit a rough, if you're here with us long enough, something will happen.
Sure.
And that's our opportunity to serve the customer. But we know in the back of our minds that they can leave, and we don't want them to leave. And so we're usually very responsive when it comes to, customer issues, member issues.
I found that. And again, I'm a tenant and have been for some time now, and I appreciate the amenities. Obviously, the price is fair for businesses.
Yeah.
We do not feel trapped.
Yeah.
Because you have that 60-day gives. And also, there are some cases that I know of, and you may be able to share, is there are certain businesses that just need offices for a period of time during the year.
100%.
Let's talk about a couple of those.
So, the classic example is tax, right? Yeah. So you've got your tax season, and you need a lot of people. Maybe you need to meet with your clients, but you certainly need to grind out in a private space, and it needs to be professional. So we have several tax groups that might only lease for 4 months or 5 months out of the year.
Yes.
Or we have certain family businesses where they're fine with their home office, but during the summer months when their kids are home, they just may need an office for 3 months, and that's fine. We have people who are remodeling or moving homes, and that might be a 6 or 12-month need, but you don't want to be in the middle of a construction project trying to do a Zoom call. I was doing that during COVID, and it's stress upon stress. You just don't. I mean, first of all, what are they breaking in there?
Right.
And second of all, I need to get some work done so I can pay for this project.
Right. That's terrific.
So.
And there are other amenities here. I mean, obviously, one of the things I enjoy is the access to the conference rooms. Yeah. In every building, you have a couple phone rooms, so you can get some additional privacy.
Yep.
If you're a social member or you have an office here. But then also, one of the things, Tim, I hear from just about everybody I talk to on our show, the Caddo Convos, is the space is well designed. You've hired a designer.
Yes.
A professional designer who makes every part of the building unique and interesting and tourable. It's almost like I'd say just shy of an art gallery.
Yeah.
This isn't just square boxes that you sit in and do work. Tell me about the thought behind that.
Well, the thought is the thought is if we're going to lure people out of their home office, well, then we need to offer something compelling. And so when you walk in, you want to walk in and be like, this is a place where I can see, like, it's an extension of your own business. So if I had a visitor here, would I feel proud for them to walk into this lobby, and are they going to think more of your business or less of your business? And for us, we want the space. All we are to entrepreneurs are space. We create space for small business to thrive. And so in order to do that, we want to provide something that's a little more elevated than the vanilla corporate blue light box, sterile. If you notice, like in our common areas, we don't have any of the traditional lighting, fluorescent lighting like you see in so many office buildings, which gives it that dreary feeling. Like we've got all these very unique light fixtures. Somebody asked me one time, it's like, are you guys a lighting showroom? And like, well,
really? Yeah.
Not. I guess we could be. Yeah. We sometimes it drives our facilities guys crazy, because it's like, okay, what fixture is this that the bulb's out? Yep. We've got 3 of them out of 10 locations. Like, maybe y'all could standardize, but no. I mean, the point, the design aesthetic, we call it residential, but it's really a combination of the best design from residential and commercial, and we're trying to soften the edges of that commercial design. We recognize that we're in neighborhoods, and almost, if you can think of yourself as like our common areas as an extension of your living area at home, maybe that's what we're trying to, that's the place we want to be, and the place that's comfortable if you're in a suit and tie, or if you're in your shorts and flip-flop. I mean, they're entrepreneurs. We don't tell them how to dress. There's no dress code here.
Yeah. All kinds are welcome.
All kinds are welcome. Yeah.
And intermingle. You have common areas that I enjoy, for coffee and whatnot, and that's where I've found and witnessed and been a part of conversations between different types of businesses that you never would have had a chance to talk to
100%.
otherwise. You also host evening events, like
Yep.
businesses can bring in and have
Yep.
all types of other spaces. And your bigger conference room, how many people will that hold on
So
average?
I think most of our conference room number one will be around 30. Some are a little bit
Right.
smaller. Um, Almost all of them now have movable tables.
Yeah.
So our large conference rooms are meant to be, kind of a small event space that you
Yeah.
can sort of do however you want. Speaking of conference rooms, one of the great things about our memberships is we include conference room time in the price each month. So it's not an extra charge. So if you're a social member, you get 8 hours per month. If you're an office member, you get 20 hours a month. If you have multiple suites, you can get 40 hours a month. So a lot of people aren't really paying for that, but we have to allocate, we don't want people just squatting in conference rooms all day. So we have to have some charge at some point. But those conference rooms, the great thing is we're not like a hotel meeting room, for instance, where you rent the space. And by the way, even just like a 10-person conference room, it's going to run $800 to $1,600 for a day rate
Anywhere else.
anywhere else, and then
Yeah.
they're going to want you to pay them for any kind of audio visual or maybe dry erase boards or food service. Now we don't do food service, but the world is your oyster. Central Market's just down the street from this Maple Shade location. They do great catering.
Right.
If you want to bring in bagels and coffee, it's an affordable way for you to host people without breaking the bank. And I think that's real important because, sometimes as small business, we have board meetings, we have investor presentations, we have training sessions for employees. We have, meetups, quarterly planning sessions, etc. And so anyway,
I've
that's
seen a lot of networking groups come and go, and
100%.
There's ample parking, folks. Very easy to get in and out of every one of the buildings. And then I found as an office member, the allocation for the different conference rooms is ample. I've
Yeah.
never used my allocation,
Yeah.
except for maybe once while we were onboarding a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's and even then, if you go over, it's not expensive.
It's not expensive. I think the big conference room's $40 an hour. The small ones are $20 an hour, and that's after you've used up all your credits for the month. And so, we're not really trying to nickel and dime people. That's a part of our business model that I think is important. And just trying to keep it affordable for our small business owners.
Right. There's nothing hidden. There are no gotchas here with your contracts. No hidden fees.
Yeah.
Just it's a simple structure with the products you offer.
Yeah. There's some, every once in a while, and this is not a common case, but we have people who are, let's say, a wealth manager or a bank. Or some IT cybersecurity type companies require what's called a static IP address for security purposes to access firewalls, and so we're able to accommodate that. That costs a little extra a month. I think it's like $25 a month. There's some people who need more internet speed because they're a media company and they're dealing with big files all the time. So we have the option to take kind of the standard 50 up, 50 down allocation and go higher than that.
Yeah, that's great.
So we can do that for people. I'm trying to think what other, printing's not that much. We have a printer here. Most people have printers in their office. Insurance, a lot of people just, if you have State Farm or something, you just tack it onto that. It's not a big cost, and it's not for our building. It's for I'm looking at your stuff in here. Do you have enough insurance?
Yeah,
buddy?
yeah, I do actually. Yeah, so obviously I'm in the media business, and our insurance is ample.
You have more stuff than most people. It's just their laptop, and maybe a printer.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, so ours is ample. We also go into medical facilities, so we have to carry more than the average person. Which is unfortunate. Enough about me, though.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
So, but again, Westridge is opening when, and you may be hearing this after the fact. So there's still time to jump in. I mean, you almost always have at least one vacancy.
Oh yeah,
or more.
Yeah, so. November 1st, 2025 is the date. Now we have used up all of our time, extra time that was kind of you budget, time and expense, and because of all the rains that we've had this summer, which has been crazy, and those rains came while we weren't yet dried in at the site, so we couldn't work because the roof wasn't. So so we're kind of, but it still looks like it's tracking for November 1st. And then we'll have a grand opening, call it mid-November, and that's usually a big event. But those founder specials, it'll just be, the first 40 people. But and we'll be hosting. You talk about the events in the building when we're in lease up. Our typical cadence is somewhere between 3 to 5 events per month in that space that are open to the public. And what we're really trying to accomplish during that time is just, reach out to the neighborhood and make sure everyone in the immediate vicinity has been through the building at least once and knows what it is, what we do, what we offer, in case it could be useful for them or someone they know. So we partner with the chambers. We partner with various women in business groups. We partner with various networking groups like 1 Million Cups, or in North Richland Hills, there's LCS, Learn, Connect, Share. I mean, there's
BNIs and all
BNI.
those. Yeah,
We do,
there's quite a few.
and then we do our own internal networking for just our members. And so that'll get started once the building gets beyond 50%. And those are great. I mean, and we have people that don't just go to the networking event for their building. They go to the networking event for other buildings because they're exposed to other small, if you're marketing to other small businesses, then it's a great place to go and meet different people. And it's very encouraging. So anyway, that's...
Well, I do want to touch on that is because now that you'll have 10 locations in this area, you're a member, and if you are a member in one, you have the amenities everywhere else. I mean,
That's
obviously
right.
you don't have an office in another location, but you can definitely get conference rooms.
Yeah.
You can go there. You can
Pop
host.
in.
Absolutely.
Pop in and work. Use a phone booth for a Zoom call. Like, hey, I'm up
Hop
near
on the Wi-Fi.
Prosper, and I've got an hour to kill before my next appointment. If you're in sales, or if you're an account rep, and that is really useful. And so the cool thing about the network is, when we started, we bought 3 locations, and you had access to probably 15 or 18 conference rooms. Well, now you have access to 45 conference rooms. And now the network of Caddo members, last time I looked, was around 1,600 people in, call it the Caddo network. And so, the people who really use that network to the fullest understand that our building managers are sort of the conduit for that. So
Yes.
if you're like, if you tell Taffy downstairs, and she knows this, I'm looking for people who want to use podcasting or do videos for learning. And if you tell her that and she comes across someone, she can be an extension and help you.
Yeah, and make great
And
introductions.
make great introductions that are warm. And that's, I mean, I can't I mean, I love doing business with people who are down the hall rather than get in the car and drive somewhere. I
Yep.
mean, it's just easy. And
It
so
is.
I think a lot of us end up doing that, like, obviously here we are doing business together. And then we've got like, we use lead gear in this building for SEO and Google ads. And so, and it's great because we see each other in the hallways. We can do informal catch ups. When we meet, we just have to walk down the hall and there we are. So
That's terrific. So just to wrap up,
yeah,
for, as we look forward, opening in November,
Yep.
but looking beyond that,
sure.
you have things that you offer also is incentive for people to bring their
Yes.
friends.
Yeah,
And talk to me about that.
thank you. So, and that's another thing when we're opening. We have a referral program, is what you're referring to, and what we're big into surveys, and so we asked people probably 3 or 4 years ago, what would you want from, do you want cash? Do you want the gift certificate to this? Do you want us to cater that? Do you want more conference? What do you want? And what came back overwhelmingly is just, I want a rent credit. That was the most popular thing. So if I bring someone who ends up signing an office lease, in most cases that's $500 per suite. Here at West Ridge, for a new building like this, it'll be $1,000 per suite. And we've had people. I remember when we opened Lakewood, we had a guy who did 7 in a year. So I don't think he paid any rent for the whole year, and we're perfectly happy. I mean, that for us, the reason that we give so much credit for that is because the best members that we can ask for are the ones who are already connected to people who are in the building. I mean, it's not, I mean, yes, it is another marketing channel, but if you think about it from our perspective, it's like, if you could have every person that moves into a Caddo move in that had a friend that's already here, I mean, how wonderful is that? And, to be honest, on a lot of tours, we're in these neighborhoods. people recognize each other on the tour. And if someone recognizes someone that's already a member and they didn't know they were in our building, there's a pretty high likelihood of them signing a lease with us because they're like, oh, yeah, I've got a friend in the building. It'd be great to see more of Buddy in the building. So we all love that, and that's just human nature. So
Tell me your favorite part about why you do this for businesses.
So I think my favorite part is the relatability and what we can learn from one another. I mean, I'm increasingly thinking of my role as more of a teacher and less of a marketer or a CEO. It's just like, hey, teach me about what you guys do in co-working and how this is different and how this is good for people. And so I love putting on the learner hat and like, okay, well, teach me about podcasting. What are the trends there and what are you learning? And just, with 1,600 members, you can imagine there's a huge variety of people that are making money in interesting and strange ways. And we look at this as like curating a community of people. And if someone's disruptive or a very difficult personality, we need to, for the benefit of the 154 other office tenants, maybe that one needs to move on. And so that's what we think about. But for me, the best part are the entrepreneurs. I mean, there's 17.5 million businesses in the US that are 50 people or under. And I think that's where a lot of the employment growth comes from in this country. That's where a lot of the creativity comes from. I mean, we can be nimble in ways that Toyota and Southwest Airlines wish they could be nimble. I mean,
sure.
we could wake up tomorrow and change our whole product.
Yep.
Not that Caddo's going to do it, but it's just we can be very responsive to the needs of our customers, which I think makes entrepreneurs interesting. And I think when you're that size, 50 and less, you're not that far from the customer.
Right.
If you're a CEO of a company with 60,000 people, when was the last time you were in the presence of one of your customers and learning from them? So I think that's, I don't know, I think there's a lot of benefit and advantage for us and numerous disadvantages, but that's one of the great advantages of a small business.
Yeah.
So.
And you're among your people.
You're among your
they're
people.
With you.
Yeah. I mean, we office here at Maple Shade and we experience, if there's a internet blip or a power blip or whatever, we're here experiencing it with our members, and
Acts
that's
of God affect us all under the same roof.
And most people are pretty, they're pretty patient on those things, but we try to mitigate any interruptions to our members.
Well, what I like about that is when you're at home, at your office at home, it's your problem.
That's right.
When I'm
now it's our problem.
Here, I could walk down and, hey, Tim, how's that going? And I can see that you're taking care of it. You've got a staff. You've got people that can help us with everything. And I want to encourage everybody to look up Caddo Convos on your favorite platform, and you'll see so many episodes. I'm the host of the show, so you'll get to hear my wonderful voice. I'm kidding. But you'll see and hear the stories of all the different types of people who office here, and I guarantee you, if you're listening, you're gonna see yourself in one of them.
Yeah.
There's somebody here who's doing exactly what you do in a different way with different customers, and you can learn from them and their why and their how. So definitely look up Caddo Convos and enjoy that show because that is for and about the people under the soon-to-be 10 roofs, of these businesses.
And that's that. I mean, that's our bread and butter is our member. I mean, we want to be all about. I mean, most of these Caddo Combo episodes are our members.
Absolutely.
And you get to learn about them. And I love listening to them. I listened to Brianna Trimble the other day, and that was
Trimble Law Office.
Yeah, Trimble Law Office, and just there were some things from that conversation that really resonated, and people taking the plunge and coming from like a corporate job into a more entrepreneurial job. It feels a lot riskier and scary, but it also there's a freedom there and an excitement around it, and I could just relate to some of that and what she was saying, and also just relate to you never know when your time is up, and let's be adults and prepare and make it easier on our children should anything ill befall us. And I think that we probably all have seen circumstances where boy that was a lot more difficult than it needed to be. And I love just kind of that forthright, hey, hit it head on, and that message resonates because I've seen it not go so well.
And another plug for Caddo Convos, if you're looking to do with someone,
Yeah.
Listen to their show. You're going to learn a lot about them, their how, their why,
Yep.
the amenities they offer, and of course, in every one of those episodes, you'll probably hear their why they chose Caddo. So
Yeah.
there may be a something maybe Tim and I haven't covered, but it may be there for you. So
100%.
Parting thoughts, Tim, as we close out the show.
Yeah, I just I think we want to be a transparent business. We want to learn. One of our core values is inviting feedback. So I would just encourage anyone. We have a feedback form on our website that goes straight to the owners, co-founders of Caddo, which doesn't get a whole lot of use. But if there's something going on and we can fix it, we want to be a part of that. We want to hear. I mean, we love the kudos and the 5-star Google reviews. Yeah. Those are great. They don't make us any better. What makes us better is the upset member. Hopefully not waiting and bottling it up until it's boiling over.
Right.
Give us a chance to work on it while we can still save the. But that is where we truly get better, is when our members tell us what changes we need to make the product work better for them. All the success we've had as a business has come from just simply listening to what our customers want and then giving it to them.
That's terrific. Well, Tim, it's always a pleasure to sit down and talk with you and just have conversations about your why and your values and what you do for your customers here, your tenants at Caddo Office Reimagined.
Yeah. Well, thanks, buddy.
Thank you for joining us today on the Caddo Convos podcast. A huge shout out to our incredible network of members for making our community vibrant and supportive. If you're looking to boost your productivity and reduce the isolation of working from home, consider joining us at Caddo Office Reimagined. Our spaces are designed to meet your evolving needs, support remote work, and foster a sense of community that's hard to find at home. Whether you're a startup aiming for growth, a freelancer seeking a professional setting, or a company looking to optimize resources, Caddo offers a perfect blend of flexibility and innovation. By joining us, you'll be a part of a dynamic business ecosystem that helps you thrive. For more information, visit caddooffices.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Caddo Convos.